stuff. But basically, when you're talking about the ancient technology of India, you're talking about what is called the Rama Empire, and this is the long ago India. Um, and there is talk in the Mahabharata and the Ramayana, another ancient book, of these just terribly destructive wars with, for all intents and purposes, advanced technology, flying machines, missiles, you name it, nuclear weaponry, that kind of thing. And among that technology are vague discussions of the flying machines, which people will often confuse with a more specific discussion of the flying machines referred to as Vimanas, which is in a much more recent of the Vimana is a word from ancient Hindu scripture and history and stuff, ancient Indian, the Rama Empire and all that. But the specific description of a Vimana that people often cite, which is the Mercury vortex engine, you've probably heard of that. People will often confuse the description of Vimanas and the Mercury vortex engine and so forth. What's in that 1908 book, they'll say, oh, that was in the ancient books, and it's not. It's from a more recent work. Now, here's what's interesting about that. This ties into Charles Delschow. Delschow was a German immigrant who came to the United States via Texas, through Galveston Harbor, I believe, via Texas in, I think it was 1850, but it was in the 1850s. And he was kind of contracted. It was a contract gig, sent by this mysterious group that he identified as NYMZA, NYMZA, all capital letters, which he identified as being based in Germany. Okay. And they sent him out. They brought him to the States, and he was to go to California, where I am now, come to California here, and go observe and report on this group of other German immigrants called the Sonora Aero Club, AERO. And basically, these guys were German and Italian, a few of them immigrants, who were building flying machines in the 1850s. The decade before the American Civil War. And they weren't hot air balloons. These were, for all intents and purposes, what appeared to be, even to our 21st century thinking, anti-gravity contraptions. Well, Delschow chronicled their exploits and documented everything he observed. And in the 1890s, I think starting in 1893, shortly before the airship mystery broke out in the 1890s, Delschow started writing these books about the Sonora Aero Club, their story, and drawing hundreds of illustrations of these flying machines that these German immigrants were designing and building and flying around up in Tuolumne County, California, which is the gold country villages just west of Yosemite National Park.